Hey everybody, this is Fletcher Stump with Radioactive Inc. and welcome back to another episode of What You Need to Hear. Yes, once again, I'm sitting on the floor. I don't know, it's kind of my ranting spot, as it would be, because it seems that's what I'm really doing with this is I'm ranting, but, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, you guys are getting enough information out of this to, you know, where you are actually understanding a few things. In the last episode, I went over the, you know, the like 5 companies that, as it is, pretty much control America, because that's what they do. They have the money and the power to basically kind of just rule over everything. They can do whatever they want. And that system is not right. Let me just readjust this a little bit. There we go. Now, that's just... that's not the way it needs to be. And I think the biggest issue has got to be the media. And I'm not just talking about the news, I'm talking about social media too. That has got to be the biggest brain cell killer out there. Now, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm a YouTuber. I'm plugged in as much as the next person, you know. I have my game console, I have my computer, I'm on social media all the time, but I limit my exposure. I'm not really on any more than I need to be. I check up on what's going on, see if there's any real news out there, and then I move on. Now, let me... excuse me. Sorry, I had Taco Bell before this. This episode is not sponsored by Taco Bell, but hey, if you guys are watching, I'll take a sponsorship. I'll be eating a quesarito on every episode, I guarantee it. Anyway, but I do think that the media is definitely one of the biggest issues, and I mean, there are things going on all over the world that you're not hearing about. And why? Because it doesn't affect the United States or Europe. There was a petroleum spill in the Amazon, and it flooded into the river. Crews were working around the clock to try and clean it up. But I guarantee most of you never heard a thing about it, because it doesn't impact you. It's not something you need to be focused on. They can't manipulate their way around it. There was terrorist attacks in Africa. There are dozens of people dead and wiped out through these shootings, but you're not really going to hear about that because it doesn't impact you. They look for ways to manipulate you. They look for ways to figure out how can we pit somebody against the other. I mean, we're going to make our way back to Donald Trump, and we're going to take some of the stuff he does, and we're going to figure that out. Now, again, Donald Trump is an asshole. He's a smart asshole, but he is an asshole nonetheless. And he's pretty racist. I mean, let's face it. But with the way the media has it, they're putting it that Donald Trump wants to, you know, go after everybody. You know, that's how they're wording it, and that's how these political parties do this sort of thing. He's saying, you know, we need to go after Mexicans, and now we need to go after Muslims, when in the grand scheme of things, the media is going to twist that to make it seem like we have to get rid of all Muslims, like all Muslims are the problem. That's not the thing. With the war that we are fighting a group. We are fighting an organization of members who seek out their own way of doing things, and they find justification for what they're doing through whatever means. But the fact of the matter is, we are going after a group, not a religion. And that is the biggest thing. We are going after a single group, not an entire religion. Okay, the act of a few do not account for the act of many. And I think that's the biggest problem. Like, they make things flashy, they make things horrible, and they're going to keep using Trump to keep pitting sides against each other. They're going to, you know, get people out there to protest and to rally and to hate each other and acts of violence left and right, and they're going to keep you blinded. And that's what they're gonna do. And then Hillary's no better. She's a part of the problem. She's definitely not part of the solution. She is an issue, not a solution. She works for these companies. She's on the inside track. She gets money from these companies. It's a broken system. It really is. And if anything, I would love to see it change. I would love to see it implemented the way it needs to be, so that this country isn't divided the way it is. I mean, racism has got to be one of the biggest issues in this country, and it exists because we let it exist. And it's not just a one-sided thing. It is on both sides of the fence. But the change comes with us. It's not about who we elect. It's not about who our leaders are. At the end of the day, they're just one person who, frankly, do not hold that much power. The change comes about through you, through me, through everybody. We have got to be the ones to do it. You can't rely on somebody else to fix a problem for you. You've got to be able to get up and to do it yourself. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, the system... the system is so broken. It is. And I don't know if it'll ever be fixed, to tell you the truth. I'm hoping it can. I'm really hoping it can. But until then, what we need to do is stop letting the government get away with whatever it is they want. We need to stop these businesses from being able to use their money to push us around. It is time that they pay back. And I'm not talking, oh, just donating to charities. I'm talking in taxes. Somehow along the way, it's that if you had money, you are protected from everything. You are protected from systems of law. You are protected from having your money taken away through taxes. I say you tax every person 20% of every $1 million they made. If they made over $1 million that year, you tax 20% of every million they made. And let us see how much money they want to sit there and try and hang on to when, you know, $200,000 is, you know, coming out of their money. When you people who make upwards of like $100 million a year are having $2 million taken out. Let's see. Let's just see how long they want to hang on to that. I guarantee things would change. I mean, in the US alone, you have at least at any given time, at least upwards of 1,000 people who make over $1 million a year. And it's mind-boggling. It really is. It's time for them to start paying back. And it's time that we start realizing the truth of things. It's time that we put our foot down and we fight back against this system that wants to keep us down. They want to keep us under their thumb. They want to keep us ignorant. And frankly, a lot of people in this country are ignorant. And don't get the wrong idea of that. I'm not calling anybody stupid. Not by a long shot. There's a difference between being stupid and being ignorant. Stupid is if you jump off a roof to think you can fly. Ignorant is thinking you can jump off the roof because you don't know you can fly. Ignorant is just the lack of information, but the information can be provided to you. Truthfully, I don't know what'll come out of this series. And I hope along the way, information is shared, information is given, and people start realizing some things. And I think that there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad coming out of these things. Now again, people might call me a conspiracy nut, but it's not really a conspiracy if it's true. It's definitely not a conspiracy. If it's true, I don't have a political party. I don't have cable. I'm not blinded by all of this stuff. You ever wonder, here, we're gonna flip this. You ever wonder why there's so many commercials on TV? Like in between your programs? It's because they know that with TV, you don't have a long enough attention span to sit there, excuse me, to sit there for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes to continuously watch whatever it is. So they put in commercials to deliberately give your mind a break so you can focus on something else, because they know. They have been pumping this stuff out for years and years and years. And they know you can't focus on that anymore. That's why topics in the country change so rapidly. One day it's about gun control, the next day it's about Ebola, now we're focusing on Trump, then we're going to be talking about Hillary, then we're talking about Bernie, and then we're talking about what Congress is doing. They're going to keep flipping the subjects because they know you can't stay focused long enough. Something's got to change, people. Something has got to change. And it starts with the individuals. So, what I'm asking is that if you've been watching this series since episode 1, we're on episode 3 now. If you've been watching this since episode 1, I want you to share these videos around. I want to give people this information. Share these videos over every social media you can. Get your friends to share it. Tell them about it. Have them share it over every social media they can. And pretty soon, the information will be out there. And things can change. But I do believe I have rambled on long enough. So, if you liked the video, leave me a like. Let me know what you thought of the video. If you're new to the channel and you want to stick around, feel free to subscribe. If not, that's cool, I understand. But until the next time, everybody, remember to take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and with that, I am Fletcher Stump with Radioactive Inc., signing out.